Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named That One Girly in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "My friend invited herself on my trip and won't take no for an answer. My US friend group is pretty diverse and we have all visited each other's home countries in the past 2 years. We either stayed in a hotel or a family home depending on space. I am going to my home country for 2.5 months this summer. All of my friends have known since Christmas and they all understand that this is not an open invitation like usual because I am not going for fun. I will be spending my time there with my family and will be busy with my fiance finalizing everything related to the wedding. So my friend decided that she did not want to go home for the summer and instead wanted to come with me. She decided that she would just stay at my family home like before. I told her that it really would not be a good time. Plus, we are not opening the family home to anyone outside of family this year. Instead of accepting that, she asked about my other accommodations. I told her they are in use and not available. I did not offer a hotel, and from the way she has been talking, she cannot afford one right now. So instead of giving up, she said that she can just go there and figure it out then, which, in my opinion, translates to, I will fly there and make it your problem, so you have no choice but to accommodate me. I told her that if she does that, she will have to truly figure it out on her own, because I am not budging or folding. She laughed it off and told me, obviously, because she did not mean it like an ultimatum. I asked her if she is okay, if there is something going on at home or with her personally, etc., because it is not like her to do something like this. She said everything is good. I, however, feel like I am stuck. If she goes through with her brilliant figure it out plan, she will be a foreign woman in a country she has only visited twice before, with a guide who does not speak the native language or understand the map, etc. I can't leave her alone no matter what. I warned her I would not. Advice, please." Edit, I took the advice and sent her a long text copied and pasted from one of the comments with just a few things changed. Then I sent another text to my friend's group chat to make sure again that they know it is not an open invitation. I also explained why I'm making sure and what has been said between my friend and me. She left me on scene privately, but replied in the group chat that she is not daft, that she understood me perfectly the first time, and that what she decides to do with her time and vacation is none of my business. I told her that she should stop making it my business then and stop telling me about her summer plans altogether if they involve my home country. She replied that I do not have a claim to the country and that my family's reason for not opening up our home is stupid and that we need to get over ourselves because it is not the second coming of Christ. I told her she is free to her opinion, just like I am free to mine, and that in my opinion, she is acting like an entitled brat. I added that she should lose my number until she is ready to apologize, tell me what is wrong, and talk it out like adults. If anyone is wondering, what she perceives as not the second coming of Christ is my eldest brother and his wife welcoming their second baby in mid-July, and my parents, my other older brothers, and I being the village that we are, helping them while also spoiling my toddler nephew rotten. So no guests or visitors are allowed outside of our immediate family while my sister-in-law heals and she and my brother adjust. Update. Right, so I was asked to update when I made my first post, and I thought I would if she did end up coming after August or September. However, things ended up happening much sooner. We did not talk for nearly 2.5 weeks after my last text, and I did not see her much at Hangouts since she was mad at the rest of our friends as well. They did not exactly take sides, but they did point out that her plan was plainly stupid. Anyway, she ended up coming to one of the girls' places for a group dinner, and we had a private-ish chat. She finally opened up about why she was acting like that. As it turns out, she has a huge crush on one of my brothers and was hoping she would get him alone this summer and shoot her shot with him. It is annoying, but I have been used to friends having crushes on my brothers and my dad my whole life, so I just let her talk. She admitted that she has been sending him direct messages on Instagram trying to get to know him, but he has been politely cordial at best and ignores half of her texts. Then she started asking me about him, about his dating history, which disgusted me because he is bisexual, and she wanted statistics on whether he has been more into girls or guys so she can figure out her chances and then ask me to help her out. She gave me examples of moments that happened on our last trip with me and my brother, dancing, water fights, karaoke, etc., that I could help her recreate with him, which is just disturbing because she made my brother and me sound romantic, and it only amplified my disgust. When she was done, I told her that she needed to come out of her fantasy and back to reality. She was starting to creep me out. I told her that the fact is that my brother is not shy. If he was interested in her, he would act like it, and his ignoring her speaks volumes. Besides that, I told her that she knows I do not involve myself in any of my brother's relationships, and even if I did, I would never allow anyone to use me for insider information. Then I said that this conversation was over and to never bring it up with me again. She got pissed and told me that I am possessive and acting like a guard dog to my brothers and that I need to get over myself because there was a spark between them on our last trip. I just got up, said goodbye to my friends, and left because she has clearly deluded herself into believing something that does not exist. On our last trip, my brother was so into the guy he was seeing at the time that he accidentally called the rest of our brothers by his name multiple times. Anyway, I have cut her off completely, and with everything that is happening right now, she got scared of traveling and dropped her plans. It sucks to lose her as a friend since we were close and all that, and I do not know how it will affect the group yet, but shit happens, and I have too much going on to dwell on it right now. I, on the other hand, moved up my traveling and will hopefully be back in my home country in the next few days along with my family, which will allow us to celebrate my dad and one of my brothers on Father's Day. ECDC said, going to a foreign country with pretty much no travel plan to try and hook up with someone who has barely acknowledged my existence, it's going to work out great. Heyo Meatballs said, that girl seriously thought she was going to be the main character in some summer romance, where she turns up out of the blue and the brother would be stunned by her, but in reality, she was creepy and he had never given her a second thought. Dead Letters Society said, it is just downright rude to invite yourself on trips like that. Even if you have been invited before, that does not mean you are automatically invited again. Plus, it sounds like the other person is being somewhat creepy with the whole brother thing. It seems awkward and kind of stalker-like, to be blunt. This next post was made in the same subreddit by a user named Bransonon. The post is titled, I found my close friend on Bumble a month before her wedding. My work wife from my first job has been a close friend of mine for years. We still hang out at least a couple of times a week. She's engaged to a guy whom I really like and they are getting married in May. Yesterday, a friend of mine found her on Bumble and texted me screenshots. I sent them to her asking if there is something I should know, and she replied that they must be from when she was still single and that she probably forgot to turn it off. The thing is, I recognize the pictures and they're recent. My girlfriend and I are even in one of them. I had spoken to her fiance earlier that day about bachelor party plans and everything sounded like it was very much still on. Some of our friends have joked that she can do better. She's really attractive and makes great money while he's very much the blue collar type. But he treats her like a princess, a big upgrade from the trashy guys she's dated in the past. I get the feeling she's having second thoughts and looking around again. I'm kind of conflicted on whether or not I should bring this up, and if I do, whether I should talk to her or him about it. She's a close friend, and if things don't work out, it's her side that I'll take. But I've been in toxic relationships before and can't help but think I'd feel very guilty if he marries her next month without knowing she's not fully invested. Any advice on how I can approach this, or should I just leave it alone? Update. After some back and forth about whether I should leave it alone, I decided to bring it up with her again today at happy hour. The plan was to frame it as, I know that's not an old profile from the pictures, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. It turns out I didn't have to, as she came clean about it before I even had the chance to broach the subject. She's had some really serious political and lifestyle arguments with her fiance in the last month, and while she still cares for him, she isn't sure she can see herself wanting to have children with someone whose values are so radically different from hers. He and I have never talked politics much, but I knew he was pretty far to the left while she is a social liberal and fiscal conservative. Apparently, he's also vehemently against giving any vaccinations to any future kids they might have. Not just COVID, any immunizations at all. I can't say I would be comfortable marrying someone in that situation either. Regarding the Bumble profile, she was out of town for work a couple of weeks ago, got into a big fight with him over the phone, and made the profile later that night while drinking at the hotel bar out of frustration. She feels guilty about doing it and deleted the app when she got home, but didn't realize that meant the profile would still be up. She says she didn't actually go out with anyone but got a bunch of matches, and it kind of served as verification to her that she still had options. She asked what I would do if I were in her situation, and I gave her the honest response that I would end it before it was too late and things got out of hand. For the record, I'm not the only one she talked to about this, and she says she got the same advice from family and another close friend. So she's calling off her engagement tomorrow. I'm hoping my girlfriend and I can help her pick up the pieces. It is a shame it didn't work out, but knowing the whole story, I think it's for the best. Marai Dragoric said, well, I was team forget the friend until it turned out the fiance was an anti-vaxxer. That is a major deal breaker and a massive asshole position. I am glad they broke up. No kids deserve that. To this user, you're right and I am wrong, said, nah, it's still forget the friend. Is it okay to cheat just because there's been an argument and you're out of town? Is it okay to look at your options before cheating or ending the relationship? Is it okay to wait until deep into wedding planning, on the cusp of marriage, and only end the relationship after your friend confronts you about a dating profile that included your friend's face in your potential infidelity? Nah, he might have questionable beliefs, but she did not care about those beliefs. It would have been discussed much sooner if either of them truly cared. She was willing and wanting to cheat and string the guy and the people involved with the wedding and relationship along. Silver Trip said, I don't like anyone in this story. The fiancé for his views, the friend for creating the account while in a relationship, OP for using the term work wife. They all suck. This final post was made in the AITA subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, I kicked my boyfriend out over my cat. For context, my boyfriend and I recently moved in together. It's something we had been talking about, and when his lease ended, he moved into my apartment. I have a cat, Millie, who is my baby girl. I've had her since she was a kitten. Back when my boyfriend and I first started dating, he joked that if we were ever gonna live together, he'd have to get rid of that cat, which I dismissed at the time. When he would come over, he would ignore Millie, making jokes about how cats are stuck up and how much he's a dog person. Again, I dismissed this because he never acted hostile toward her. I figured it was just a preference. When we started to get serious about moving in, he asked if I would consider giving her away because he didn't like the idea of living with a cat. I almost laughed before realizing he was serious. I told him that under no circumstances would I get rid of my cat. I felt guilty about being unwilling to compromise, but he actually took it well and reassured me that if she was that important to me, he'd get over it. Fast forward to last night. I don't think he realized I was in the kitchen when he came home. Millie was on the couch and I heard him go into the room and give a sigh. Before I could call out, I heard him say, "You're so fucking worthless." It terrified me because I've never ever heard him speak with such malice. He sounded like a different person. It was just so cold and hostile that I panicked and rushed out to see him looking at Millie. Here's where I might be the asshole. I completely freaked out. I was yelling, asking what he thought he was doing, talking to her like that. He jumped and I scooped Millie up and told him to leave my apartment right now. He looked so stunned and started to argue, asking where he was supposed to go. I told him that I didn't care. He just needed to leave. He was pissed and said he was going for a drive and slammed the door behind him. I immediately started sobbing and holding Millie. I was shaking and she could tell I was upset and kept cuddling me. She calmed me down and later when he texted asking if he could come back, I said yes. I put Millie in the bedroom so we could talk. We were both a lot calmer and I felt awful after he explained his side. I often call Millie little names and he said he was just trying to be playfully mean to and misjudged his tone. But he said it felt awful that I chose a cat over him and that I called it my apartment when it's supposed to be our place. He told me he was constantly feeling second best to Millie, who I wouldn't even consider rehoming, and that I had thrown him out over an animal when he's a person. I explained to him how much he means to me and apologized for ever making him feel like this wasn't his home. I think I might have overreacted, but I just don't know. He's my boyfriend and she's something I keep refusing to compromise on, but I also don't believe that he just misjudged his tone. Am I the asshole? Update. First of all, wow, I did not expect the flood of supportive comments, messages, and awards. I tried to respond to as many messages as I could, but I genuinely appreciated all of the kind words and concern for me and Millie. Everybody's comments were extremely eye-opening. I felt sick to my stomach reading about people afraid for Millie, and honestly, it had already crossed my mind. Making that post validated all the fears I had kept dismissing as dramatic, and it was almost a relief to be encouraged by strangers to do something I had previously been too afraid to do. We broke up. It's my apartment. He wasn't on the lease yet, and he is going to go stay with his brother. I had to read up on gaslighting, and my sisters would agree with all of you about that one. It was hard to lose somebody I trusted and thought I knew well, but based on his reaction, I knew I made the right call. He essentially told me that if I couldn't learn to put other humans before my cat, I'd be alone for a very long time, and that he'd be waiting for me to reach out. Millie doesn't deserve to just be tolerated. She deserves to be safe and treated like the little princess she is by anybody I live with. She has seen me through so much, and I'd rather be alone than have her wandering around the side of the road somewhere. I am absolutely terrified of her ever being hurt. It isn't worth the risk. I'm okay with it being just her and me for now. Thanks everybody for the advice. Allison Vunderland said, I can understand not liking cats. I absolutely do not trust men who hate cats. Dogs will love even the cruelest owner, but cats are very particular about consent when it comes to affection, and it seems like the worst sort of people take that as an insult to their ego. To this comment, Cute but Depresso said, my husband did not like cats when we got together, as his exes had cats that were fighting with him over his pillow and other things. But he never hated cats. He just gave each cat time and space, respected their boundaries, and interacted with them according to the cat's rules. Now he loves cats, loves our cat, and is allowed to pet the belly. He is still very careful to respect his boundaries and does not do the things the cat does not want. He takes care of the cat as much as I do, even the unpleasant parts, and is a very active participant in his vet visits. How your partner treats your pets is a sign of how he will treat you. Chayton Hall said, if you hate cats that much, do not knowingly date someone with a cat. It is not rocket science. I have a severe cat allergy and do not care for cats, so I would never ever date or live with someone who had a cat. My allergy is bad enough that I avoid even going to the homes of friends with cats, because what is even worse than the cat allergy is that cats love me. They follow me around purring and pushing against me, wanting pets, which I cannot provide. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, GamerSupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.